Howdy folks, it is Diecast Buffet here again. Alex Bowman wins at the Chicago Street Course. What a chaotic race, all kinds of controversy, a lot of stuff to talk about. Oh boy, it's going to be a spicy video. Make sure to give the video a huge thumbs up and let's hop right into it. Alex Bowman finally, after 2 years, finds victory lane, silences the doubters essentially, locks himself in the playoffs. The 48 car is back in victory lane. And who would have thought it would have been a road course? Who would have thought Bowman winning in 2024 would be a wild card win? Because he was, let's just be honest, there was a chance he wasn't going to make the playoffs. He makes the playoffs now, and it's going to get interesting. There's like 6 or 7 races left. We still have, Daytona. You still have, we have Indianapolis. Who knows who's going to win that one? Pocono, Michigan. There's still some weather-affected races that we could see. I don't think this is the only upset, potentially, in the bubble for the, the playoffs. I still think we're going to see one real, true upset before the end of the year. Of course, that Race Win Diecast is going to most likely be offered from our good friends over there at Circle Diecast. You can pre-order, use promo code Diecast Buffet. Any orders $30 or more, you will save on shipping. So I'm going to try to wrap this video up as decently quick as possible. We have a little bit of weather coming in, so you gotta love the Gulf in Texas. Always a lot of fun. Anyways, I'm going to give my honest thoughts on the entire Chicago Street Course part 2, if you will. So the Xfinity race was actually pretty dry. I don't think they had any rain, from what my memory serves me correct here. It was a lot of fun. SVG versus Kyle Larson, intense battles. SVG got the win. It was actually pretty entertaining. See, that's the one thing that I'm noticing with the street course, is it's like a short track but for road courses. Meaning they race a lot more physical when the racetrack is very narrow. A wide street course would be a bad thing because then you have plenty of runoff room. But when you have like high speed areas and very shallow, narrow braking zones, that really amps up the physical contact and makes the street course racing a lot more interesting, in my opinion, than potentially IndyCar, where they don't race as physical because they can't. They don't have fenders. That's understandable. Anyways, Xfinity race, in my opinion, was a whole lot of fun. I actually enjoyed it. The Cup race, a lot of controversy. It was funny last week. They're saying, "Oh, it's not going to rain at Chicago. It's not going to rain. It's not going to rain," and it rained again. Go figure. I feel for the fans who actually tuned in for that, or actually showed up to the event. Another groggy monsoon, just never-ending type of rain. I'm kidding. It wasn't as bad as last year, but yeah, definitely the spotlight was once again on NASCAR, and they still could not get a dry event in. They had to shorten it up again because of darkness. Now, why would you schedule one of the most important NASCAR races of the year at like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock Central? It blows my mind why they would schedule it so late. Like, I get it. You got other programming. I get it. The ratings are higher. I don't think you get as much ratings having a race start later and then have constant rain delays and then fans just tuning off because they got other things to do in their life. Instead of just starting it at noon and having a clean race that would have ended, it would have been a full 75-lap race. That's just my honest opinion with that. Starting it late, not a good idea. 2 years in a row, we see why. SVG crashed out pretty early. That was interesting. A lot of people actually picked him to win. I picked, what's-his-face, Tyler Reddick, actually, to win. A lot of people were saying Kyle Larson to SVG. I'm like, it's too obvious. It's Kaulig racing in 2024. There's probably going to have a problem. They're probably going to have a problem. And unfortunately, they did. They did win the Xfinity race, but just something about the Cup program and the Xfinity program doesn't seem as good as it was last year. That's just my honest opinion. Anyways, Christopher Bell was very, very good in the race. He was starting to become the dominant car once Larson was knocked out, once SVG was knocked out. But tires didn't matter a whole lot, and that's how Bowman got out front. He didn't pit for tires. He was actually on rain tires when the track was it was much closer to dry than it was to wet conditions, and he was able to hold off. I don't even, the dude in the 60 car, I don't even remember his name. I think it was Joey Hand. I think he's like a road course ringer. I don't know the sports car stuff as much as a lot of other people do. Anyways, he had a chance to win the race. He had a legit chance. And it came down to it. Tyler Reddick was second. He was closing in on Bowman. It looked like we were going to have a fantastic finish. He hit the wall in the final lap, and that was pretty much the end of his run. And then Bowman kind of just mailed it on in. Great win for the 48 team. The controversial part about it is that obviously the first part I already mentioned, it was started so late in the day, which basically means no chance if you have any form of delay to get the full scheduled race in. Sure enough, they had rain, lengthy cleanup. I mean, a caution lap around here takes like 3 minutes, So I just don't understand why you would run a racetrack that has no lights and pretty much has a no tolerance policy for postponing it potentially the next day because it's a street course that has to be cleaned up. I don't know why you would start that late in the day. So logistically, that is not good. So that's the first controversial thing that has a lot of people fired up about it. And again, we respect all the opinions on this channel. You could comment yours down below. I would love to read them. I do check them out. I do check out the comments. And the next part about it was SVG crashing out because there was standing water on the racetrack. They actually red flagged it after that, cleaned everything up. I think it was like an hour and a half delay. They went from double file restarts to single file restarts. So people were upset that SVG was, of course, knocked out of the race because of a little bit of hydroplaning, X, Y, and Z. I think he was in a crash with Chase Briscoe. So that was another controversial point. And then the fact that they're running in Chicago, it just regardless is going to make some people happy and some people not. A lot of people were commenting or on social media like, we should just go to Chicagoland Speedway. And I would love to see that. And the same thing pretty much happened 2 years in a row. Lots of rain. You go from double file restarts, getting really excited, to just single file restarts. I believe the entire Xfinity race was 2 wide restarts, and it was actually pretty good. But once you go to single file restarts, you might as well just end the race because it's so hard to pass. And I think that proved it with Bowman winning when Christopher Bell was like one of the top 3 cars. He didn't have a snowball's chance of catching Alex Bowman. It's so hard to pass, and you put it single file on a track that's not 100% dry, so you can't overcommit to the corners. I can't stand single file restarts. I can't stand it. I can't. Every time they do that, my interest goes from here to the floor, and I'm done. I'm like, yep, just hurry up and end the race because I know nothing interesting is probably going to happen. That's the unfortunate reality. So they go to single file restarts. That significantly reduced it. But the next controversial thing, and it kind of adds into everything that I've already talked about. It's a street course, so they're at a hard out, as they say in television, where you have to basically get off air at a certain time. Well, this race has to be done at a certain time, 8:20 local, I believe it's what it was. And that meant the race got shortened early, and it was not just, hey, we're going to race to X, Y, and Z lap. It was actually a timed event. So at 8:20, once you cross the stripe, 2 laps to go, and that is it. That was some controversial there because I don't want to see that more in the future, and the reason why, it is so easy to manipulate an outcome of a race with that. All it takes is one car spinning out with 2 minutes left on the clock, and then congratulations, you got a 2.5 mile street course. Tow truck's got to go out there, have to go and bring the car to pit road. If it's based on time limit, they can't red flag it, so essentially the race is over. It's kind of like an IndyCar. If someone wanted to pull a 2013 MWR with 2 to go in the Indy 500, you feel what I'm trying to say. And then you go back to last weekend, people were saying overtimes need to be limited. I think people forget the reason why they even did so. It's because race manipulation, where you had Kevin Harvick spinning out multiple times at Talladega. I think it was 2015 or 2016. And that started a whole wave of changes in the overtime rules. My point is, you don't want teams with like 4 cars or 3 cars to have a car that's like 17 laps down, conveniently cause a crash at the end of the race to manipulate the winner. Okay? You don't want that, and that's why unlimited overtimes, in my opinion, deserve to be in the event. I can understand the time limit for this specific event because Again, it's a very unique situation. However, it could have been easily manipulated. Easily. I mean, all you got to do is just crash into the wall and just say, well, something broke. What are they going to do? You know what I'm saying? Are they not going to give the winner the trophy? So my point is, I don't want to see more of that in the sport. I can understand for a street course, and that brings me to my next point. What do I truly think about all this? All the controversy aside, if you give me the option, Chicagoland or the Chicago street course, Chicagoland. Take me to Chicagoland, bring that track back. However, if you told me Watkins Glen, Sonoma, Coda, a road course versus having a street course, as long as the street course is narrow with a lot of Jersey barriers, a lot of concrete, a lot of points of, if you hit the wall, you're going to put a lot of damage on the vehicle. I'm okay with having street courses replace road courses now, and here's why. The next-gen cars are so boring at road courses. They have so much runoff room. They can overdrive the corners. It's boring. Like, literally, Coda put me asleep this year. I'm pretty sure Watkins Glen's going to probably do the same thing. Sonoma was kind of fun, but that's kind of what a repave, I don't know. Anyways, street courses force drivers to be physical at a racetrack that has almost next to no margin of error, which means crashes, which means restarts. Add some rain, you get some chaos. I would be okay if they don't have another street course race. I would be okay with that. Just give me a track that's better. That's my take on it. What do y'all think? Make sure to comment down below, guys. Again, I respect everyone's opinions on the channel. I don't know. Do they come back in 2025? Again, my opinion stays the same. If you told me we could have Coda or a street course race, I think geographically it could be a good thing to rotate a street course race in different cities. I think it could be interesting. And depending on the location, you could have them even in the playoffs. A very, warm weather city in the playoffs. What is it, September, maybe November, October, X, Y, and Z. You could potentially have a street course race in the playoffs. Now, that could work. And then for the warm or the cold weather cities, you have it in the summertime. I think that could be a future there. Same thing with stadium races. You have all these NFL stadiums. What are they doing in the summertime? You never know. I would like to see Chicagoland come back instead. That's just my honest take. What do y'all think? Make sure to comment down below. It was fun, though. Was it better than last year? I don't know. I'm going to say yes because they had more double wide restarts. I'm going to say it was better than last year. But other than that, it was pretty similar, ironically enough. Thank y'all for watching. Pocono is next week. Very, very excited for that. And another thing I'm very excited about, got a brand new diecast haul I'll be having on the channel very soon. I already filmed it. It's going to be on the channel soon. It's a record-breaking diecast haul for the channel. Lots of new stuff. Make sure to stay tuned for that. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a long video. Probably like 40 minutes or something. So get your popcorn for that one. And I hope you're having a blessed one. Thank you all for watching again. Diecast Buffet, signing off.